Right, so now there's another subtopic called vertical and horizontal heading out of work. So we'll discuss that subtopic first. Now, horizontal control. It just means giving you a reference in horizontal plane as well as in vertical plane. So when I say in horizontal plane, which measurements we are going to carry out? So we're going to do mainly distance measurement, mostly in horizontal direction or maybe in inclined direction. So, but we are finding out distances between the two points. And when I'm talking about vertical control, I'm discussing the levels, okay, or the RLs of 2 points. Now, how do we carry out this? How do we bring about horizontal control? Okay, for that you require some reference marks. Some points on your plan. So you have a plan. On this plan, you decide certain points which will never be disturbed in the entire course of your project. So let's say this is your plot. Okay, that's your plot. Okay, and you have a house which is going to be built like this. Okay, it's going to be built here. Your reference points are going to be as far as possible. So somewhere here, which are not at all going to be affected by the excavation work or any other work. So these are going to be your primary reference marks. Then you have a secondary reference mark. What is a secondary reference mark? If you keep your points so far from actual building line, mind you, this is a plan, okay? There is nothing on the side. On the side, right now we have only established our primary reference point. Now, our idea from the primary reference point, I will not be able to get all these points of the building line. When I say points, meaning I am actually trying to transfer all the points where we are going to lay the foundation or let's say columns. So let's say these many points are required. All these obtaining from such far off points is not possible. So we keep a secondary reference points. Now these secondary reference points will be somewhere closer to the building line. They are relatively less permanent. They may or may not be uh, they may or may not be there throughout. There are chances that it will get lost. But even if it gets lost, we will be able to recover it back. So primarily these points which are marked in cross, the primary reference points, these are marked by a triangulation. What is triangulation? The measurement of this point will be done at least with respect to two more points. At least. So these points are fixed maybe with respect to this point, okay, so they are very accurately fixed. Now, when I'm talking about the secondary reference points, this is my baseline. What is baseline? Baseline is a line which passes through the secondary reference points. Okay, and most of your citing will be with respect to this baseline. It's the longest traverse in your survey. So these secondary reference points, they will be marked by using traversing. Primary will be marked using triangulation. Okay. So from this, you will have all the offsets. So I want to mark this point. This will be all. So that is about primary and secondary reference points for horizontal control. Now, what is vertical control? Vertical control will be points which that will indicate height with respect to a datum. What is the datum in our case? In our case, the datum is benchmark. Okay. Okay. So now the benchmark that will be used for most of our site work. See, there won't be multiple benchmarks in your site unless your site is really huge. Okay, but the benchmark which is used for reference for your entire project work is called master benchmark, commonly abbreviated as MB. Okay, so from this benchmark, all the vertical levels are taken, meaning at all the points on your site, the levels are with MBM. and that's how you determine the cutting and filling quantities. Okay, what are the different tools which are used in setting out? One is boring rod. You can see something like T. It's something like this is you must have seen even with a tailor. Okay. Uh, so what is it? It's a vertical thing with a horizontal plank on it. These boning rods are they are usually in sets. Okay, they're all of equal size, identical to each other, and a third one will be a longer one. Usually that is the set. Okay, with a detachable T-piece. And when this detachable T-piece is now, it will look something like this. You have a vertical plate. Okay, I have drawn this as traveling rod. This is not exactly what a traveling rod looks like. I just wanted something with graduation and a vein. So you have a vertical plank. You have to excuse all the noise in our college. I can't help it. I have to record the lecture with all this noise. Somehow you have to publish this. So you have all these graduations, okay? And then the horizontal plate is moving. So you can fix it at whatever level as you want. Then you have profile boards. Profile boards are vertical planks, vertical rods with horizontal planks. Okay, so these are provided around your plot boundary, and you can see there are nails on it. Some days back I had told you how to do setting out. So you have your plot like this, and I told you how do you mark the foundation plan. If you all remember in the class I had told you how do you do it, if you all remember. So if I have to mark, I will have these profile boards all around it. Okay, and on these there'll be nails. You remember, then you have these strings going in this direction, strings going in this direction. That's how the intersection of string gives me the point where column has to be located or centered. You remember? So these profile boards are basically these kind of raw vertical sections of wood with horizontal planks on which there'll be wire nails, and there'll be strings tied to these wire nails. Okay, you have to see that the plumpness of this is maintained. Okay, they cannot be inclined and all that. Then the next subtopic is layout using stakes, or it's also called stakeouts. Okay, now this entire information I have got from internet. But there are multiple types of stakes. You can see here there is a video I have posted already. I hope you all have watched that videos on stakes. Once you have watched this will become very simple. Okay, now what is a center line stake? It's nothing but just a piece of timber, okay, with a very less thickness. Actually, if you go to the books, they will say stakes are something like this, whereas in that video they call it as a hub, meaning a stake with a bigger thickness is a hub. That is what is told in that. Anyway, that depends on person to person how they use. Usually, stakes are nothing but just some markings, wooden planks, which try to give you a horizontal and vertical control of a particular point in your plot. Okay, so functions of centerline stakes, these indicate the center line of the construction. Shoulder stakes will indicate the inside edge of the roadway shoulders. Reference hubs, they are used to reference other stakes. Okay, so usually these reference hubs will be on benchmarks or temporary benchmarks. Okay, then the slope stakes are used to mark the intersection of slopes with a natural surface. So these will indicate earthwork limits on each side of the center line. Right of way stakes, these indicate the legal right of passage and outmost bounds of construction. Then the grade stakes. Grade stakes indicate required grade elevation to the construction crew. During the final grading stage of construction, hubs are blue tops. So he has explained you what are blue tops and what are blue ribbons. These are basically some guidelines which try to differentiate these stakes from one another. Okay. these are so driven that the top of the hub is set to the required grade elevation. Then the guard stakes, these are used to identify and protect hubs. Okay, face of the stake is marked with a station identification and placed so that the stake faces the hub it identifies. Sometimes more than one guard stake can be used to protect a hub. Then we have offset stakes. These may be additional stakes that are offset uh, a known distance from other stakes that will likely to be disturbed during the construction. The offset stake is marked with the same information as the stake it offsets, and it is also marked to show the offset distance. Often stakes will themselves be offset a known distance from their true location. Okay, so this eliminates the requirements of additional stakes. This is about different types of stakes. In the next video, we will learn how actually these stakes are driven inside the ground and which instruments are used for driving stakes.